Hello, you right?
I'm good, mate.
You good?
Hello,
it's been everyone.
Long. It has been long to set this up today.
I know.
We have, we don't just come down and we don't just sit here and just start talking. You've got this preparation to go into this, and
you have to go into everything. You have to look at it, research it,
you got to make sure.
And then you've got to see how everyone else feels about it, and
then when it's time to talk, he's like, "Oh shit!
Yeah,
it's time."
So it's a peaky moment, isn't it? Anyway. Introduction time. Hello guys, welcome to the 97 Boys podcast. Had a little tongue twat. It is not my day today.
It's been a long day. Tongue tie is trying to say we're having an introduction.
Okay.
We are basically wrapping up 2020 for you guys. We're going to talk about some highlights of the year, over the news, everything that was covered, and then we will jump into our years and kind of what we've achieved, what we've not achieved, what our personal highlights are, and then look towards 2021, what our plans are and what we expect. So really, without further ado, not a Jew.
Alright. Anyway, guys, let's begin. So, we're going to talk about the highlights first thing, isn't it? So,
start of the year.
Let's start from the beginning.
Forest fires, Australia.
My bloody God. If Australia didn't need to get any hotter.
No.
It didn't.
It was bad. Over 40 plus million acres of land desolated, burned, gone, destroyed.
Do you know what struck a chord with me?
What?
It was the burning koala. I don't know why.
Yeah, I remember seeing it on the news and seeing like people that had lived there for their whole life, and their houses had been gone and stuff. But then it's sad, but it's fine.
And the fire rose as well.
But then there was people there with like these little koala bears that are like dying, and you're just
kangaroos as well, hopping in flames, and you would see them run and jump into water, and steam will come off them.
It was very.
They were getting cooked alive.
Luckily, I think now it's all over.
Oh yeah, and it's been raging for 12 months straight.
It did go on for a while. I remember it wasn't a few days. It was like even after the news coverage kind of ended on it, it was still like a few months. I think maybe a month or two.
It's because
so
Australia's just such a lush country, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's got so much greenish still.
Yeah.
And the winds are just whipping it around the country at breakneck speed. You can't. How do you even fight a fire like that?
Yeah, it definitely destroyed the country. Well, it didn't destroy the country, but it destroyed 40 odd million acres of land.
Yeah, and that's a healthy amount of.
It's scary. Like you can't stop that. There's nothing to stop what happened. They've done all their protocols with all the water, when the helicopters flying over planes.
It's not gonna do a damn thing unless you divert a river through it. But
it was bad. But luckily, I think 33 people roughly, approximately, just a figure I've plucked out. Unfortunately, passed away. But I think
you've got good memory to remember that from January.
I think luckily though that number could have been a lot higher if they didn't deal with it in a better way. So hats off to
Australia. Australia did it, and of course we've been looking at analytics, and 4% of our listeners are actually Australian. So good day to you, mate. Put some shrimp on the bar for us. What else happened? Megxit happened.
Harry and Meghan got banished essentially.
Effectively, well, it was their choice.
Yeah. But
they didn't want to go. I think they did want to go, but not in the way that they went.
Yeah.
If you see what I mean,
it's madness though. Like they never, But in the history of a royal family and things like that. I mean, I don't really know the full history, but to me, in the modern day and age, it just shows you how normal people they are, though, as well. Because in every family, there's some sort of, some have broken links, some have a lot of broken links. And
Have you watched an episode of The Crown? Do you ever watch The Crown?
Oh,
okay, let me give you a slight overview. American divorcees have never fared well with the royal family, and I think this is the second one. But obviously there was Camilla as well, which was looked down upon when she was getting with Charles.
Yep.
And the fact that she was an American divorcee, which is exactly what Harry's great-grandfather actually did as well is it just goes to show that they're still a traditionalist. They're still got those
very old-fashioned ways. I think.
Old-fashioned ways.
But then I think like William and Kate are trying to like
modernise it,
and I think even like Diana wanted Harry and William to go to like, well, they didn't go to normal schools, did they? But try and get them a most normal life, get them in the public eye early, just so they could get like they understand about that and not be sheltered and just live a normal life. So I do think it is changing, but I think once Prince William becomes king, whenever that'll be, 10, 15 years, maybe sooner. Might have to be fair. The Queen would do a good stint if she gets 15 years. But whatever, I think things will change.
Along with the Queen.
For him, yeah. So yeah, a madness really makes it, but
yeah.
I feel for them. I feel for Meghan Markle so much. She's
she was unfairly treated.
She was.
Like, there was a picture that came out of her holding the baby bump.
Yeah.
And when Meghan, was it Meghan? Kate. When Kate was holding it, the son was like, oh, it's a mother caressing her baby bump and it's a lovely moment for the nation. But when Meghan actually did it, they were saying she can't keep her hands off it, she's trying to suffocate the baby, she's trying to show off. It is, you understand why she would flee to Canada. Yeah. And then you get to Canada, and then you realise why they went to America from Canada.
January had it all really, and then we lost a legend in January as well.
R.I.P. to Kobe.
Yeah, that was a mad. I remember watching it on the news and being like my jaw was like on the floor. I was just, damn.
I don't think I'm going to get in a helicopter. Everyone seems to be crashing. I think it was last year, 2019. But the manager for Leicester City died.
That wasn't last year. That was quite a few. I think that was like back in like 2015, 16. But yeah, it definitely was.
That last year?
I went to Leicester last season to watch the rugby. I know you're on about the football, but you park in the football car park, and the memorial was there last year. So I feel like if it was like, it definitely was.
This year's been a blur.
But however long ago it was, I remember that happened as well. And
helicopters they're not safe.
They're not. They are probably the least safe way to travel. But I just think, someone like Kobe, who had great family, couldn't be more successful.
And this little girl was already doing, I say little, she was like 15, 16, wasn't she? She was doing basketball as well. Yeah. So she was following in the footsteps of her old man.
Yeah. It was rough, and I think
it's a waste of life, isn't it?
Yeah, I just think like, you have everything, it gets taken away from you. That just
like that,
gone
in a moment.
Moving on.
Trump's acquittal. I know you don't know anything about it, so if anybody else that doesn't know what Trump did, I'm going to give you a quick overview, basically. So, Trump blackmailed the head of the Ukraine state to dig up dirt on Joe Biden and his sons. Why was this such an outrage? He was withholding support, which the America had promised to Ukraine, so they wouldn't be so reliant on Russia, to dig up dirt on a political opponent. In the land of the free, home of the brave, that's quite a scandalous thing to do, especially with how much they talk about their democracy. Yeah. And Trump's pulling off this stuff, and he gets acquitted for it as well.
Idiot.
They say they caught him. There's evidence of it. There's transcripts of it, and then they go, "Oh, don't do it again, mate."
Power, though, isn't it? That's what happens when you have lots of money, lots of power. You can almost get away with anything. It is crazy, but. Yeah, I mean, we're going to get rid of him soon anyway, aren't we? So, well, not us, but the Americans.
Nah, we're coming for you, boy. No, I'm joking. You know, Americans are mad. The Americans are mad. We ain't going to do nothing.
And then I think what happens next in the year is something that's affected the whole world. COVID. Lockdown.
The lockdown.
We probably went into lockdown later in most
countries
and stuff.
March 21st or 23rd. It was a Monday.
It was last week of March, wasn't it, roughly? And
I remember just seeing like the sheer amount of people going out just that split second before. So there were pubs were at capacity, people were going shops, panic buying.
It was mental. I was sat in, because they initially said 2 weeks.
It's funny now, isn't it?
Yeah, I sat in the office I was in the office the day before we went in, and we was all sat there and we was like watching the news on TV, and they were talking about it more. It'll be 2 weeks. It's just a precaution. Blah blah blah. Thinking, I thought, do you know what? 2 weeks off work.
It's not too bad.
It's not too bad. You know, working from home, but it's probably gonna be really quiet. What are you gonna really do? And now what? 9 months later, and we're getting more deaths and cases every day.
It's reached 70 now.
And it's bad. But
70.
You know, went into lockdown, and that was the beginning of the end.
But obviously, you know, because you were there, like the rest of the world. So let's move on. Anyway, so let's go across the pond.
Canada. To
Nova Scotia, Canada.
Biggest shooting
in Canadian history.
22
dead. And with how nice the Canadians are, you would never think something like that would happen.
I know. You just can't imagine it. I didn't even know they were allowed guns out there, to be honest. I thought there was... I know America, obviously.
No, you're allowed guns. You're allowed to go shooting and stuff like that. They're more liberal than us with guns, but far less than Americans.
I thought... I know police officers have guns out there in Canada. Just didn't
Mounties.
I didn't know that the citizens could have it. Because the guy
it's an open carry. It's not like you can have a gun when you're 24, but if you're going hunting, bring a gun with you.
Because the guy dressed up as a police officer, didn't he?
Yeah, and even brought a police car as well. Which I didn't think was legal.
I don't know. I don't think it is, but it's very easy to do. You go on eBay. You can buy an ambulance. You can buy a bus. You can buy a stagecoach.
I didn't even find this out.
You can buy. Me and Ross have had many times where we've been bored and we've just searched things on eBay. You can buy like a stagecoach bus. I don't know, like
a stagecoach.
10 grand. Yeah.
That's mad. I don't know what I would do with it, but I would love it.
Yeah. But
you can do that with a little girl. Anyway.
I'm going off on tangent.
Well, we'll talk about that later.
Also, in that
same month
in April, Kim Jong-un dead? Question mark.
Well, it's been answered now.
He's obviously not dead now, but
he was missing for
a few
weeks, wasn't he?
And no one knew.
He took some time off. He was like, you know what? I want to take some time off. It's stressful being a dictator.
And he just popped up like, yo.
Was good. Was good.
I ain't dead. Yeah, that was fun. And then we move on to something complete opposite to that, unfortunately.
It's the big one, isn't it? It's the Black Lives Matter movement. It's the video that outraged everyone.
Yeah.
Is the George Floyd
video. It's strange, isn't it? Because how many times have we seen on the news in America someone getting shot by the police, you know?
What is...
And it coming up and nothing came of it. You know, people are outraged, but nothing had come of it.
It just goes to
this
show
come
you...
out and it's almost revolutionised. I can't say the word. Revolutionised the whole way people conceive everything now. I believe anyway.
I'm not too sure if I've got such a rosy view as you. I feel like it has woken a lot of people up, but as well, I feel like a lot of people were outraged for the moment, and the moment isn't gonna... Motivation gets you up, it's the consistency that gets you over the finish line. And in order for George Floyd's death to actually mean anything, to mean something, to make a change, it's the consistency in the outrage, it's consistency in holding the people in power, what's the word I'm trying to say? Hold them up.
Responsible
for their job.
Yeah.
Really. So the Black Towels was great, but I think it's just making sure that you document everything. You make sure that people understand if anything's gone wrong, you post it. And again, the police is just something. It's more training, but it's more than just training. It's making them understand that those people are people and not a quota. It's not about how many arrests you've done. If you've done no arrests, and everything's handy dandy, then it's brilliant then, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
It's not about quotas.
I think like there's still loads to be done on it, but I think the fact that it got sparked up this year the way it has been a massive step forward. It's just now not to take that step back and in 12 months' time forget about it just because it's happened and then wait till it happens again. I don't think it will. Just think it will now be, we've had a big step, it's now going to be small steps going forward, because I think things like certain things take time. You can't, for a certain person thinks a certain way, you can't make them change their views straight away. You have to educate, you have to give them that knowledge, and over time hopefully they will change. And it's more of a generation thing. So now when we have children, we bring children up, we raise them what's right and wrong, the way you treat people, etc. And I think for our generation, when we eventually have children, that will be a lot easier, because we've been brought up in a relatively equal-ish, not necessarily true, because obviously it says the whole thing, but compared to what, say, your parents would have experienced.
Sort of.
Let's not get into it too much now, but
we'll get into it too.
There's a lot of work to still do with it.
There is a lot of work to still do.
But it's out there a lot more, I think, which is good, and obviously very sad that he died and very unnecessary, but it's being talked about, which is the main thing.
And that's the big thing.
Yeah.
So, from Black Lives Matter, let's go on to the next big thing that happened. Epstein.
And his
well,
missus.
More specifically, her missus is in July is actually when she got arrested. So they knew he'd done all these things.
Yeah.
He's already been sent to prison. Months later, she now finally, after they know for months, she finally gets arrested for what she's done. Really, if anyone, there's a really good documentary on Netflix. For anybody that doesn't know about Jeffrey Epstein and about what he's done. So if you go on Netflix, type in Epstein, an extremely good documentary. I recommend anyone to watch it, and it really gives you an understanding of the callousness, the disgustingness, the outrageous things that man did to the young girls. So
mad. Moving on to, unfortunately, another death. I feel like 2020 has been a lot of death. Chadwick Boseman. Honestly, again, like Kobe,
blue.
Devastated.
Out of the blue.
Out of the blue.
I was just confused.
Yeah.
Because can you imagine just scrolling on Instagram and they're like, Chadwick Boseman's dead of cancer? You're like, I swear it was Black Panther last week.
That's what I mean, like...
He was doing his own stunts, he was flipping and dipping and punching and crunching and...
When Black Panther came out as well, like, that just blew him up, and that film, I reckon, is probably one of my top, like, 5 films.
Yeah.
It's
110%. It's up there with Avatar. I can't think of any other good films now. Avatar really took me away.
Black Panther and Avatar. That's it.
I love CGI.
But yeah, no, it was a big shock, unfortunately. But he was a good man as well. He did a lot, didn't he?
Did a lot for charity. He did a lot for black youth as well.
Yeah.
So
it's a massive shame.
Age of 40 as well, in his 40s.
Yeah.
Not even halfway through a century.
I know. But moving on to something a bit more positive. Captain Tom Moore.
Sir
Captain Tom Moore. Now, met the Queen, didn't he? £33 million.
Now that's a lot of moolah, isn't it?
That's a lot. I think I can't remember what his initial goal was, but I think it was below £1,000. Yeah.
It's a couple hundred quid.
And do you know what? And I don't know if this is in chronological order now, but I know there's a lot of people during the whole of lockdown that have done similar things to this. You know, not to take away from what he's done. There's been lots of other...
It's the challenges, hasn't it?
People. I've seen a kid that had a disability, and on his crutches, I think he ran a marathon over a few days.
Oh.
But he was like 7 or 8 years old, and he raised a few million.
That's a lot.
I've seen lots of really nice challenges that people have done and raised a lot of money.
I think in these moments, it really genuinely brings us closer together as a nation, and it
microphone just fell.
and it proves that we all care about each other, especially now that people are on their phones. They want to just go straight home and do all those other things. It still shows the the united part of the kingdom.
Yeah.
We really are a united kingdom.
Yeah. God,
so,
yeah, man, imagine standing at the front, the beginning of the year, if someone said to you, you'll be on the front doorstep every Thursday at 8 PM clapping.
Yeah.
You'd be like, why?
I was on there.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And then you find
the first
yourself
couple
there.
of weeks I was a bit confused.
You're clapping and you see your neighbours again. You're like, oh,
yeah, John.
All they're wearing different pyjamas this week. Like,
oh, there was a lot of stories that were going in, but I'll save those for a later.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just a madness. And just clapping is.
It's not a, did you? I don't know if you took part in it. It was the Run 5K, Nominate 5K.
Oh yeah.
Did it a few times.
Yeah, that was again like a lot of trends and challenges happened this year to promote awareness of everything. So yeah, I did that. That was good. That was good fun. I like things like that though. Just I think people should get more involved and call people out essentially on social media saying, "I've done it. Your turn." It's good.
And make sure they actually do it.
But just like it's it's a positive thing, isn't it? So only good can come out of it. But yeah, and then again. More positive news, I suppose.
Yes, Joe Biden, President-elect.
Biden in, so...
The news cycle, it will be boring without him.
Yeah. Trump
always, I don't know about anyone else, but I loved American news for the past 4 years. I've absolutely adored it.
It's a bit scary, isn't it? It's a bit like, I don't know, in I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, some of the trials, they got to put their hand in a box, they don't know what it is, and they've got to find the star, and it could be a tarantula, but it could also just be, I don't know, fish guts. And
just fish guts.
Every time you put your hand in, you're really unsure of what it's going to be. Every time you turn the news on with Trump, you're like, oh, what's it going to be this time?
The crazy stuff that man has done in only 4 years.
And what he's tweeted, more importantly, I think going onto his Twitter is absolutely a gold mine.
What is brilliant is by law, he's not allowed to block you.
It's mental.
You can say whatever you want to him on Twitter. By law, he can't block you.
I bet. I just love to have a camera in his room and watch him just sat like in bed in his pajamas on his
After
phone.
a long day, yeah.
Just tweeting like in capitals.
You know he's an old man, so he's got to put his glasses on.
Biden is a cheat or something. And he's like,
I'm gonna get.
Throws his phone out. Like, oh, I've had enough.
Oh, give me a new phone, AIDS.
And then to wrap the year up on a high, I would say.
Finally.
Massive debate. We will not debate it today, but it's a big debate around the whole country. But we've got a COVID vaccine. How powerful and effective it's going to be is one thing. People think that it's like people tracking us, the government tracking us.
So many conspiracy. We should talk about it in the conspiracy.
I think that about, I don't know the official stats, but I think around 20% of the population, that may be way too big, said that they wouldn't take it because they believe they're going to get like trapped and because they don't think it's necessary.
Do you know what? I can't deal with people like that.
Be the same people that probably won't wear a mask.
If you guys want to DM me on Instagram, leave a message, leave a review, whatever. I'll come talk to you.
Yeah, let us know if you're one of these people that think that it's the government tracking us and you won't take it. Like, let us know if you don't want to take it for other reasons. Let us know because I don't understand why you wouldn't have it. Do you know what I mean?
Infuriating.
Let's get back to normal life and let's just all have a vaccine and just crack on with life.
Let's call it a day.
Let's get to the pub and have a few beers with the boys. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, we'll talk about that, I'm sure, in a few months to come when we have some results. But I think 2020 wrapped up. We've gone through pretty much most of it there.
It's been a quiet year, but slowly and quietly, a lot of things has happened, and I feel like we've highlighted that. With just and that's just a short highlight. That's not even everything.
No. So much has happened this year, considering we've not left the house.
Imagine if we did leave it.
Considering 3/4 of the year, we've been restricted on what we can do. I used to go to cinema every week. Pretty much every week.
Every week? What are you watching?
Me and my dad used to just go and watch random stuff. Whatever's on, we would watch it. We paid monthly to go to cinema. Then you just go as many times as you want. And we'd go like literally once a week. I haven't been to the cinema since like Feb. Do you know what I mean? Even when they first opened up, when restrictions eased, like we didn't.
No,
feel
there's
very
nothing good on.
And nothing.
They
was
weren't
on.
releasing any new films, so they were having to do like
There's-
Star Wars, the ones that came out in like 1980s.
The new James Bond was meant to come out on my birthday back in April. Then they said, "Oh, it'll come out in like November." And it's still not come out. I'm like, I want to watch it, and it's so frustrating. The good thing is, I think when life goes back to normality, Jesus, we're gonna have so much fun because films will be dropping hard because they're recording now. They've just found the new normal. They started recording everything, so films are gonna be insane. I feel like restaurants and everything like that are gonna become a privilege because everywhere's gonna be so booked. Do you know what I mean? Everywhere's gonna be so booked. It's gonna be difficult to get out. Mental, but
yeah.
Okay, so
So
let's talk about us now, the important part of 2020. How's it been for you?
2020 has been. It's had its demons, had its angels. It's been good and bad.
Yeah.
Personally, do you want me to?
Have you? Yeah, let's go into that. Have you achieved anything this year?
Achieving. Well, I've started. If you don't know, I do property investing. I've typically only done so far really essays, so like Airbnb, Booking.com sort of businesses, but that's coming to a natural conclusion now, and I'm moving on to HMOs. So I've finished all the setup for that business. I'm going to London, I'm doing viewings, and then hopefully I'm looking to get my first HMO at the beginning of next year. But what my achievement for 2020 is I've got the trampoline out, the shed, I've set everything up, and I'm ready to jump into 2021.
I thought you meant you actually got a trampoline out.
No.
I was like, sick word.
All guns are blazing.
Good.
Yeah.
Is there anything you've not achieved that you wanted to achieve?
Well, what I'm doing now is what I wish I achieved in 2020, which is quite frustrating. But obviously it's lockdown, obviously protect lives and all that, so I couldn't be going out doing viewings as nearly as much as I wanted to. So that's one of the things I haven't achieved. So it's just a failure to start earlier.
Yeah.
But hey, the next best time to plant a tree is today, isn't it?
True that. Highlights? You know, we've talked about all the highlights in the news. So for you, anything stand out or personal highlights?
Personal highlights. Don't know if you guys know this. I did 40k last week.
Oh, last week?
Yeah.
I've seen you I know you've done a lot of running throughout all of this.
Yeah, so I did 40k. So that's from
in one run.
One run. I had to take a couple. I had to stop a few times. I was knocking on death's door.
Quick smoke break on the halfway round.
Yeah. Yeah, I did 40k.
That's just shy of a marathon, is it not?
Yeah, by 2 miles I think. But
Why stop?
I wouldn't know. I could not. The second I saw my house, I broke down. I crawled for 2 days.
It's a big achievement.
So it was a little personal challenge, but now that I've done it, I can announce it, and yeah, 40 bloody K done.
That's with I guess minimal training in the sense of you weren't training for it. You were just running. So
it was literally
one day you got up and went, I'm gonna run 40k.
Yeah, I've always wanted to see like how far I could push myself. So everyone starts with a 2k, then you move up to your 5k, then your 8, then your 10, then and then I think I did 16 before I did it.
Yeah.
So I got halfway to Daventry, and then I just thought, well, stop. It's not gonna stop, and I didn't, and then my legs shut down. So
madness.
So yeah, that was my big achievement.
Where do you see 2021 going then, plan wise? You've talked about work and getting a HMO, and then
on a personal level, it's going to be a mission of self-actualization. So not a lot of people know what self-actualization actually is. It's becoming the best version of you possible. So I've been reading a lot of books to get myself right mentally, not caring about what other people think, how to become a great leader, how to become more confident talking to people. Because not by doing this, but a lot of people didn't know I was quite shy before. I hated meeting new people. So I've worked on myself emotionally. I've been working on myself physically, and well, I wasn't going to announce it, I wasn't going to tell anyone, inside scoop, but by the end of next year, I really, really, really hope to do a boxing match.
Oh shit.
That's one of the big things that
I'll fight you if you want.
Don't really think you're in my weight class, but I mean, anything for the W.
I'll make the weight.
Yeah. So.
Like white collar, or like you're gonna try and turn pro.
No. It's not gonna.
Like charity.
No. Yeah, maybe charity. It's just gonna do like an 8-week program. I'm trying to lose weight so that I'm at the weight of my size and age and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
And then build muscle, do training, so I actually know how to do punching properly.
You know who did that? Cade. Shout out to Cade in
Shout out
Dubai.
to Cade. Yeah, I was about to ask him how he did it as well.
He signed up to that, but he's so strict of his life. Like he'll every day he was up training, blah blah blah. He's so dedicated to doing that. So hats off to him. But you got to be strict. That's he battered the person he was fighting as well. Like I kid you not. He was like one of the last fights. We'd been there for like 2 hours standing waiting for him. He come on. It was the best thing. Cause there was about 8 or 9 of us watching him. We're going crazy. Come out, bell rung, and within about 30 seconds, dropped the guy, and that was a fight over.
Really?
He come out there like Donkey Kong. He'd been training hard, and I think his uncle was like semi-pro or something, so had quite good advice. And he, like I said, he dedicates himself, so he'd watched a lot and boxing.
That's what I've been doing.
And he knew what he was doing, but he came out swinging hard. I think when we were watching all these other fights, a lot of these people were coming out just testing the waters.
A lot of people funny about. I'm not about that. Like,
he wanted to
so
knock this guy out.
This year as well, it's just been a lot of preparation for the dedication. Do you see what I mean? So if you don't know, I wake up at 4 every single morning. I go to the gym by 4:30 every single morning. If I don't go gym twice in a day, I'll go for minimum 5k, 8k, 10k run every single day. So I'm ready for the dedication, and now it's a matter of turning that up. So I need to do all that. Then I need to actually practice how to punch and block.
Yeah, I was about to say actually how to box, but I think it's the mental side of that is probably the biggest thing more than anything.
Learning how to get hit as well.
Getting physically fit is obviously very important, but mentally going in there knowing someone wants to, probably not in a charity match, but they're going to want to knock you out.
Yeah, well that's my goal.
And you're going to fight someone obviously the same size as you, so
so there's no advantage.
There's no advantage. It's not like, you're fighting someone that's going to be smaller than you and you think, I've got this. You are going to meet someone that is relatively equal to you. So, but fair play.
It should be
I
fun.
hope it happens, because
should be fun.
That'll be fun to watch.
Well, when I get the details, I'll announce that. But yeah, right now I'm just prepping and.
Who are we calling out? AJ?
AJ, yeah, I'm coming for you. Fury. Anyone really. I want to start big. I don't want to start with a pussy. So yeah.
Mad. Well, congratulations, I suppose.
Yeah.
And good luck.
Fun. Yeah.
Good year for you then.
Yeah. So let's move it on to you.
Yeah, I mean.
Let's talk with the achievements. Let's always start with that.
I think like you said, been a very up and down year, but for everyone. So cry me a river. I'm not gonna make my life sound like it's difficult. I think achievement wise, on a different level to you, I bought a new car, which is nice. Always it's a nice feeling, isn't it? You feel like doing well in life.
Got the new car smell.
Yeah. So that was nice.
Easy.
And it just makes you feel like you've achieved. I feel like from doing that makes me feel like I've achieved something, because I work hard, and then you have that actual physical reward that every time now I see my car, I'm like, I've got that because I worked hard. If I, otherwise, what have you got to show for it? Like you said, you've built your business up, and you hopefully get your HMO, blah blah blah. You've got that to show for it. So to have something to show for working hard is nice. I think like a lot of people, like you've just talked upon about like fitness. Lockdown came, started running a lot more, and I just become so obsessed with it though. Like I was running, like I was working out as much as you was. I was doing a CrossFit workout in the morning, and working at such a high intensity. My average heart rate was between 170 to 185 throughout my whole workout, which is you're in your peak heart rate there, and that just killed me, but was really good. Managed to get my resting heart rate down to 40 beats per minute.
Oh shit!
Ridiculous.
You're practically dead.
Yeah, and that was a very, very short period of time. Literally, like a very, very short period of time, and then I just kind of thought I'm gonna stop this now because it was getting silly. And I'm not an athlete, so like, what was the point? Kind of thing. It was just something to. I don't know, just kind of slowed down a bit on that, but just focused more on some running and ran a lot, which was nice, and just got out as much. And if I wasn't running on my rest days, go for like a 10k walk or something just to get out. So the gyms were shut for a while, so
too long.
It was hard to get my head around that. But yeah, that was quite mad to think. I think my like right now I've run maybe like twice in a month, and I think my resting heart rate's like 50 to 55. I have quite a good natural heart rate, low resting heart rate anyway. But to get it to drop quite significantly in each fortnight, I was checking it and seeing I've managed to consistently keep it quite low. Was quite mad, and I felt so fit. So that was pretty mad. And then probably just the fact that I've managed to land a job that I wanted to do since I've been a kid.
Yeah.
Being a police officer.
That's a big achievement, isn't it?
So, yeah, and that obviously come around near the end of the year, so that was a nice way to end essentially a pretty shit year for everyone.
For everyone involved.
So that was nice. So I think not a massive amount achieved, but I mean, I got back on the Pokemon Go hype, which started like a couple of years ago.
Get you it's a Charmander.
Yeah, and but when I was, that helped me get out. That was more of a, you know, those days you just sit there, you're like, I don't want to go out today. Can't be arsed. Like, today's not the day I want to go out. It got me out, and it got me walking, and it got me, because you have to walk to catch things. If you don't know what the game is, you have to play the game. You've got to basically walk out and stuff. So that was a motivation for me to be like, oh, I'm going to actually go for a 5k walk today, and I can just, even though I'm on my own, just play on my phone or just take in the app. Do you know what I mean? So, not really achievement, but it was a good fun thing to do.
It's always, if you enjoyed it, that you achieved happiness.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people can't do.
I think yeah, that was I think something that going into this year wasn't. I've never been, not like I was unhappy, but happy at the end of the year than I was at the beginning of the year. So it's the main thing, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
And I think something we'll talk about in future episodes, relationships. But obviously we both got into relationships, so I've achieved a girlfriend.
Yeah. You could tick that off, isn't it?
It's a madness. I don't know how that's possible. How I've managed to do that, but I've managed to, and we've managed to bag it.
I know how I did it. I'm smoother than butter, though.
But yeah, bagging a girlfriend was pretty good achievement.
Yeah, wicked.
I've achieved enough.
Yeah,
and
a lot.
I don't think I've not.
You're just ringing them off there.
I don't think there's anything that I haven't not achieved. At the beginning of the year, I set 12 resolutions for the year, and I was going to do one each month. Rather than having like one unrealistic goal at the beginning of the year, which most people do: quit smoking, don't drink as much, whatever. 12 small ones to allow me to actually feel like I've achieved something. COVID fucked that up. But at the beginning of the first 3 months of the year, I managed to achieve 3 things, which was I was vegetarian for January, so I didn't eat any meat in January, which was the worst month of my life. I was so miserable.
It's funny because it's actually meant to make you feel better. When I went vegan for 5 days out of the week for 12 weeks.
Yeah, I remember.
And I felt happy and stronger, but I did really enjoy meat.
I felt like for me it was like I knew that you know, it was gonna be over in 4 weeks. I was like so looking. I saw that end goal, and I just couldn't stop thinking about it. And then it kind of got to a week before, and I was just there like craving everything. It was, they weren't the best. But
I can't imagine that day when you actually finished. You could have just been like slaughtering animals at the park.
We had it. My mum and dad did it as well. Yeah, we had a big old KFC. It was gorgeous.
Delightful.
But that was just to see, like, you know, like you said, meant to make you feel better about yourself. So I just wanted to see if I could do it, and I can't.
Have you seen the thing on Netflix, Game Changers?
No, but I know there's, like, a lot of people I know have watched it and have like once you watched it, you
don't want to eat meat because like the benefits you feel, they're actually real. Like they're real.
I get it, but and I think once I'm out of my mid to late 20s, once I get past that, I think when I'm settled more in life, I'll probably do it.
Yeah.
Right now, I think if I stop eating meat, and I feel like, I don't know. I just think it's important. My view is it's still important at a young age. I know you can get those.
I feel like it's important to get the B12s, but it's just.
I understand.
I wouldn't say I'd go full vegan ever.
No.
But I think you can cut down.
Yeah.
Here and there.
It's about cutting down for me.
That's the main thing for me, because if you enjoy it, you enjoy it, and I think it's regardless, it's still going to sell the meat. So
yeah, exactly, and that's my view as well.
So it's just one of those, really.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, so that was what was it? That's the overview of our year, personally. Yeah. If you want to tell us about your year, leave it in the comments on YouTube if you're listening on there, or you can leave it in the comments for the podcast. I watched them, so I'd love to hear about your year. Post it, whatever. I'd love to see it. So
yeah, thank you for
listening.
That's it. And we hope 2021 is a better year for everyone.
2020 was practice.
Oh, how have we not either of us talked about this? Something that we both achieved is setting this podcast up as well.
We've talked about it for the longest time.
But you know what I mean? It's something that's definitely been on my mind for a while and yours. So like, to finally just be like, let's get this done and have that time during kind of all the restrictions to allow us to eventually be here and do this. Yeah.
So nice. I've honestly, and what I'm really surprised about is all the support everyone's been giving us.
Yeah, I honestly
loads of views, loads of comments,
really happy with it. So thank you.
Keep up the good work,
yes,
guys, because you're the ones that make it happen, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there's no point talking to no one. So keep watching, keep listening.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you and peace.
Peace.